this is what needs to be happening. And it needs to be happening in a environment to where people are not talking over or at each other, but with each other. The idea of just talking about different things, and also, even though we have all these restrictions, all these issues because of our current crisis, and we have to sort of be careful with that, the fact that we can even chat using Skype or using Zoom and talking to each other, the fact that we can actually do that, and I'm in North Carolina and you're in India, is even in and of itself a good thing. So when you're talking to these people, it's not just benefiting those individuals, but I think, well, not think, but I believe it benefits you because it broadens your perspective on how the world is. And if we have more of this in the next couple of years of these conversations, then I think we're looking towards a more healthier future for our planet because we could eradicate, for instance, racism if we just have these conversations. There is I think, an NFL star, I forgot his name, that he has started to do this. And what's interesting is he's doing it during this pandemic, which is very impressive towards me. To me, another person is Lisa Fields, and she is a black female scholar that started and founded the Jude 3 Project. And the Jude 3 Project, her goal is to talk to people that don't necessarily agree with her theology, but are willing to discuss things such as homosexuality in the church. Things She has a series of individuals that have left the church dealing with church hurt, and she was willing to have and bring those who are in for a courageous conversation on those issues and give them space to be as really honest as they can be for their spiritual growth and for their healing. So that's that kind of thing. When I looked at some of the things, just look at some of the thumbnails on your Instagram, you talk to people, not just with people like myself, but one thing that stuck to my mind is you talk with a filmmaker about an experience that he had, and I listened to a few minutes of that conversation. So what you're doing is a good thing, and I think, or I believe, that you should continue to do this. I think it's good for your mental health. It's good for my and other people's mental health. And it just gives us ability to share our thoughts outside of our normal context. So what you're doing is wonderful. I encourage you to keep doing this. And I think that in the future, the networks are going to look at your YouTube page, and they may ask you to do this more formally. This has happened to a lot of YouTube people, people like Doja Cat, who is now blowing up the pop charts right now because she used to do cow videos, and she went from that to now collaborating with different people and coming out with an album, has been on several award shows and come out with some really good music videos. So really, what you're doing has the potential of being picked up by the major networks. That is not out of the realm of possibility because this is something that is needed in our culture. It's just the ability to just have conversations, period. Some people cannot even converse without going into shouting matches. But here you ask good questions and you ask my thoughts and perspectives on things, and I'm able to share those perspectives in a space to where it's not necessarily a quote unquote safe space, but a space to where I can speak my mind and speak it in a way that might impact somebody, because a young person might see this and might want to, another person that may not even think about, I want to complete my education, they see this and they want to do that. And I see my 2 interviews with you doing just that. So I believe you should continue to do this. If you want me to come to and do future interviews with you, I'm very open to that, because as doctoral students, you want to share. You don't want to share everything and bore people, but you want to share some thoughts and put some doubts out there, and then other people can take those thoughts, look at those thoughts, and trace those things and work through those topics themselves. So I would say continue to do what you're doing, because I think it is a great thing that you're doing for society.